it came again, this time with so much force, and it twisted my intestine. They said the water had already covered my baby, and my kidney was also getting affected. I had to undergo an emergency CS at once. I was like, okay, chill. I know I came for a C-section, but not the one of, at least tomorrow now. The MD was like, no, I should go and prepare now. I should sign my paper. My husband was not there, and my mom, I had sent my mom to go get some other things, so I was the only one there. Before my mom could even come, I was already inside the theater because I signed the paper myself. I called my husband and he accepted. Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Diamondmum here. If you're new here, you're very much welcome. Thank you for joining this family, and please do ensure to subscribe if you have not done so. To my returning subscribers, thank you guys for always coming back. I hope you all are doing. In this video, I'll be sharing my experience in my first pregnancy, how it started, the whole process, and how it also ended. Now, I'm not sharing this experience with you guys to discourage anyone or to scare anyone. Rather, it's to encourage anybody that might be going through the same thing that I went through, because I know, of course, no two pregnancies are the same. Some people are lucky to have a smooth ride during theirs, while some are not all that lucky. So I'm sharing this story, this experience of mine, because I feel there might be someone out there going through this, just to encourage you and to tell you that you shouldn't give up. Without pain, there is no gain. So no matter what you're passing through, no matter how you feel that pregnancy, no matter the toll that the pregnancy is taking on you, of course, one day you will see your bundle of joy. My first pregnancy did not happen by accident. It was a mutual decision between I and my partner. It was planned, actually. I got married on the 7th of December 2018, and we both decided to hold off childbearing for the meantime. Now, our church wedding held 9 months later. That was on the 7th of September 2019. Now, on my traditional, I'm a skinny person naturally. On my traditional wedding day, I didn't like the way I looked, because I looked so dry owing to school stress, because I was also running around for my clearance from school then, and also the traditional wedding stress. So I didn't like the way I looked, and I didn't like all my pictures I took on that day. Now, for my white wedding, I wanted to do something. I wanted to, at least add up a little flesh so that I can look presentable, as the bride of the day, so that I can look at least presentable and beautiful that day. And I knew that I hardly gain weight. I don't gain weight easily. So I and my husband decided that we should try for our first baby before our church wedding. That was some weeks or some months before our church wedding. So we actually tried. And even before I missed my period, I knew I was pregnant. We tried once, to the glory of God, and it came out positive. Before my next missed period, I already knew, because I was seeing some sign, like my own was so glaring. First of all, what gave me the sign that I was pregnant was my increased urine. Like I mean a week after the whole baby dance and so on. You understand what I mean? A week after everything, I started urinating like every 10 minutes. I was like, although before then I was already browsing about symptoms of early pregnancies and all those good stuffs, just so I won't be taken unawares. And I didn't know that my husband was also browsing his, also, learning. So the increased urination gave the pregnancy away, but I wasn't sure. I had to wait. That was the only symptom I had at that time, increased urination. I had to wait until I missed my period, and then I bought the pregnancy strip test, and then confirmed that I was pregnant. Now, this was less than 2 months to my church wedding. I didn't know what to expect from pregnancy. I didn't know if it would weigh me down. I mean, I took a very big risk trying to get pregnant before my church wedding, because what if the pregnancy had been maybe a high risk one, that I should not be able to go through any stress, I shouldn't be able to travel. Now mind you, we lived in the east and our white wedding was fixed in the west, so we have to even travel and run around for something. So the long distance, everything, the stress of the wedding, I didn't even consider that. My own was that I feel getting pregnant would make me fat, so why not if not? And we're actually ready for the baby, so it was a win-win. I wanted to use one stone to kill two birds, and actually it went as planned. In my first trimester, I didn't encounter any issue. I had increased appetite, like I had to eat like every 30 minutes, and that also helped because, of course, as expected, I gained the flesh I was looking for to appear good on my wedding day. So I didn't have any bad symptom, just nausea and so on. So I was always at home, so I wasn't down with any, I didn't throw up, I wasn't really weak or so. So I just enjoyed my first trimester. It went, and I also did my wedding. I danced so much on that day. I was filled with so much energy that you wouldn't even know I was pregnant, and everything went as planned. After the wedding, we came back. The pregnancy still continued with the same vibe. Going to my second trimester also, in fact, all the nausea I was feeling, everything died down. The increased appetite, everything died down. I was always going for my antenatal appointment, and my blood was always, my PVC was always okay, 37, 38, you know, all those high. At least it was okay for a pregnant woman. My BP was always 110/70, 80 and so on. It never went high. My urine was so clear, everything. It got to when I was 6 months, I started looking at myself, you know, asking my mom that my legs are not swollen. Is it normal? Because I feel every pregnant woman leg should be swollen, you know. They will tell me that it's normal, that no, that am I praying for my leg to swell up, that this is this. But I wanted to experience what other women were experiencing. Now getting to my final trimester, that is from the 7th month, I was still okay. Now towards the end of my 7th month, that was when the whole problem started. This fateful day, I went for my normal antenatal appointment. You know, this routine check of your BP, your blood and your urine, just to make sure that everything is okay with you and your baby. First of all, they checked my BP. Unusually, my BP was 130 over whatever, I don't know, but 130, it has never happened before. Okay, the nurse asked me if my BP if I had high BP before. I said no. And then she said, okay, that I should not worry, that after the antenatal, like after some hours, I should come back to check it. Now, before now, I had been reading about preeclampsia, you know, just about different pregnancies, symptoms that might, pregnancy induced stuffs that might arise, maybe like diabetes, hypertension, preeclampsia and so on. So at least I had an idea of what preeclampsia was. So after checking my BP, the results of the blood and urine test came out, and guess what? They said there was protein in my urine. My blood was still okay, my blood level was okay. I was, to be honest, you know, these pregnancy hormones, that any little thing you start crying. When they told me, okay, they later called me to check my BP again, and it had increased to 140/110. The next thing I did was to start crying. I don't know why. The nurses, they were trying to calm me down, that there is no problem, that this one is just a minor something that they can handle. But in my head I was like, and why, where with the BP, why should it be me, why should, I mean, I thought I was going to have a smooth pregnancy all through and then deliver safely, you know, without any issues. So it came as a shock. I was crying. They were trying to calm me down, that as I'm crying my BP will increase more. I didn't even listen. So they referred me to a doctor, and the doctor, the first thing she told me was, I have preeclampsia. Okay, I already know that I'm going to have a CS. So imagine someone that has been preparing. Of course, I'm not averse to CS or something, but I mean, I was strong. I feel I had a healthy pregnancy from the start. So why should CS even be an option? So that thing that she said more started, I cried more. I started crying. So they were calming me down. At the end, they gave me some drugs to take, and I left. On my next visit, they still conducted the same test and found out that my BP was still high, protein was still in my urine, and all those stuff. Now, at this point, my feet were starting to swell, which is normal with someone that has preeclampsia. So my feet were starting to swell, but it was still mild, because I mean, a BP of 130, 140 is not really on the high side. There are some pregnant women that have 170, 180. So mine was still at least manageable. I was on drugs and I was still controlling it. From the 7th month getting to the 8th month, still the same thing. Now, where everything went south was at my 33rd week. On February 14th, 2020, I celebrated Valentine's Day with my husband. I prepared chicken curry sauce, and you know, we had wine and celebrated it by ourselves, you know, as a family of 2 that is expecting. The next day, February 15th, I was sitting in the living room watching, there's this program that was going on then, Ultimate Love. I didn't miss it for anything. I was watching the Ultimate Love, and then I just sat down on the couch. Within a second, like, you know, everything, if something wants to spoil, see guys, if someone wants to die, it's just within a second. Anything that wants to spoil happened within 1 second. Within 1 second, I felt uncomfortable, like as if something was actually going on, like some chemical reactions, like something is not wrong, is not right in my body. I felt somehow. So I was trying, I was sitting before, so I had to lie down on the couch, but I still wasn't comfortable. I stood up. Before I could say jack, I felt a sharp pain in my, I don't know if it's intestine or in my stomach or in my womb, I don't know, but you know, a pregnant woman, anything that is paining you there, you would assume it's your baby or your womb or something. So I felt a sharp pain. My husband was doing something, so I tried calling him, but he didn't hear me. So I endured this pain. This pain lasted for like 5 seconds and then stopped. It came again, this time with so much force, and it twisted my intestine. This thing I'm saying, it is a past experience. That's why I'm laughing, because then it wasn't funny. So it came with a twist in my intestine. This one lasted longer for 10 seconds. So my husband came in and saw me in pains, was like, what is it? Even me, I was even confused, because of course I was in my 33 weeks, so it's not even due. I'm not even due for delivery, so I can't even say it's not even false labor. It's not labor sign, so I don't even know what to expect. Luckily, my mom was on her way coming for Mugo that day, because here where we stay, we don't have any close family member living close to us. So my mom has to come earlier for the Omugo, so that she will be there before I put to bed to put me through. And you know, as a first timer, she was on her way on that fateful day. So I called her on the phone to tell her, to ask her about labor signs and so on. So she told me, and then I explained what I was feeling to her. She told me to go to the hospital. This was around 12:1 in the afternoon. So I said, okay, I would go. But then I said, let me just see, let me endure, let me wait a little bit longer to know if this is just, you know, a minor issue. As the more I was waiting, the more this pain was increasing. It started coming so regularly, and it will last for long, as if somebody was twisting all my intestine, both the small and the large one. They were twisting it, you know, a pregnant woman going through something else that she doesn't understand. You can imagine, you can only imagine the pain, because it's not something I would wish for my enemy to go through. So it's increased. In fact, even go to the hospital, I couldn't, because I couldn't even stand, I couldn't even walk. So I had to wait until 5, when at least I got myself. So I and my husband, we went to the hospital. I had to be admitted, of course, because I couldn't go home in that state. So they took my blood, took my stool, took everything, ran some tests, and already they kept me on, they placed me on drip. They placed me on drip, and okay, it's actually, I don't know the name of the drip, but the drip helped to reduce the pain, but I was still feeling it. So when the results of the test came out, what was wrong with me? Nothing. That they didn't see anything. My urine does not show, apart from the protein and all those stuff. There's nothing, there's no infection. It's just pregnancy symptom. When I put to bed, it would go. I mean, like, how will you leave me to suffer this thing? I think there should be a name for it. Okay, that one passed, that phase passed. I was admitted, that was on a Friday. I was admitted, I slept in the hospital Friday, Saturday. So my mom actually came and she met me in the hospital. Now, with this pain, of course, you remember that before this pain, I was already having preeclampsia. My feet were swollen. Now, this pain, I don't know, it increased my oedema. That is the retention of fluid. So I was not only suffering from this pain, I was also suffering from retention of fluid. My legs started to increase more, even more than normal, because of course a pregnant woman leg retains fluid, but mine became more than normal, it became abnormal. So this pain increased. On Sunday they discharged me, because I said okay, I was already okay, the pain has reduced, so I could go home. They discharged me and I left. We left home on Sunday. On Monday morning, the pain woke me up. I said okay, but I can endure, you know, I can endure. On Tuesday I landed in the hospital and I was admitted again, because the pain no be here. The pain I don't even know, I can't even explain it, because you know, when your intestine, so it was in the second on my second visit that they actually ran another test, culture test, and they said it's gastritis, but they can't really do much, because of course a pregnant woman, you have to be careful with what you give to her. So I was just placed on mild drips that was just, you know, helping me to reduce the pain, but I was still feeling the pain, because I feel the only thing that will remove that pain is for them to remove the baby from me and let me get myself, in case they want to give me any injection, they want to do anything, and here they can do it. But of course I was still pregnant. This was in my 34th week now, so I was still pregnant, so I had to endure the pain and everything. Now, coupled with this pain, the water retention in my body started to come up. I don't know, is it osmosis or diffusion? I don't know. From my legs, the water, my both legs, the water started to increase, to come up to my thigh. Before my pregnancy, I started with 56 kg. At this point, I was weighing 96 kg. So you can imagine how many kg I added, a whole 40. And this was not what I ended the pregnancy with, because I'm sure I entered 100 kg plus. So coupled with this pain was my increased oedema, severe oedema. It became so worse. Okay, I just felt that I had to accept this as my pregnancy sacrifice, you know, as my cross that I have to bear. I mean, I've been enjoying it for my first trimester, so maybe it's time for me to feel what pregnancy really is. So I just accepted my fate. I got discharged for the second time, and the pain was still there. The pain was still there. There was really no drug that was given to control it. So I just had to, endure. When the pain comes, I will roll and roll and cry and cry and cry. And after maybe like 40 minutes, the pain will reduce. For like 10 minutes, I would rest, and then it will come again. So even to eat, I was scared of eating, because I felt it's when I eat. So I just had to endure it, because I felt, what if it is labor pain? If it is labor, we go run am. So I just had to strong my mind. That was when I knew that pain actually does not kill you. You can, like, you are greater than your pain. You can overcome it if only you have a positive mindset. But to be honest, I felt I wasn't going to make it alive. To be honest, I felt, God, is this how my life would end? So it continued, the pain continued, and getting to my 35th week, I couldn't endure it again. So I went for the third time to the hospital, and I was admitted again. But before my admission, I met with a doctor, and she told me, she checked my history, checked my BP and everything, and she told me that, would I mind C-section? I said, God forbid. you know Based on, I had a positive mindset from the beginning of this pregnancy that I was going to, deliver by myself. Not that I see C-section as a sin or anything, but it's my first time, so I would like to also experience what it is to push your baby. And so I told her, God forbid. She was like, no, that she's just asking me, that she's not telling me to do it. I said, okay, that no, that since I can, because I had done my pelvic check, right? I had done my pelvic check at 34 weeks. That is when they do your pelvic check, to check if your pelvis can be able to pass the child. So of course I had a normal pelvis, so why should I be considering C-section? So she said there is no problem. They actually admitted me, gave me drips and so on to reduce the pain. Last, they still discharged me again, because they cannot keep you for long. Even me, I wasn't even comfortable in the hospital. I wanted to go home. So they discharged me. I came back home. Now, getting to my 36 weeks, I was still, now remember that this pain started from my 33rd weeks. Now at this point of my 36 weeks, the oedema had already gotten up to here, up to my back, round, above my stomach. Now what does this imply? That of course the normal birth canal also should be affected, right? So the normal birth canal that the child was to come out through was also swollen. Water was everywhere. So normal delivery, the normal delivery was not even an option, because even if I was strong enough, they couldn't risk my life to avoid bleeding and all those stuff. So I just decided on that day, that I decided a day on a Tuesday, that is on 5th of March, I told my mom, I called my dad, that I've endured this pain for so long. I'm sure that this pain is even more than labor pain, because if it was labor pain, at least it's at maximum level, it should be 1 week, and I will give birth to my baby. But this one is even more than me enduring pregnancy, and this gastritis and the oedema and so many other things, that at this point I would go to the hospital and tell them to carry out a C-section on me, to bring out. So I and my husband, we've already concluded, because there was nothing else. I was praying, God help me. It was as if it was getting worse by the day. So my mom actually, because she saw me, she saw the pains I was going through, but she couldn't do anything. So she agreed immediately. My dad also agreed. Now this was on a Tuesday that we made that decision. Now on that same Tuesday night, I entered labor. How did I know? Of course, the pain was nothing compared to the pain I had been feeling before, because the pain are different. The labor pain was in the waist, but the gastritis pain, or whatever they called it, was everywhere around my stomach, my intestine, my womb, the baby, everything. So, but the labor pain did not allow me to sleep. Of course, we've already decided that the next day I was going to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital on Wednesday. I'd already packed my bags. I and my mom, we went to the hospital, hoping to tell them that okay, I want to go for a C-section, and let us book, even if it's not that day, maybe the next day or so. So when I got there, I explained to them the pains I was feeling. They said I should go into the room for them to check me, and they saw that I was 3 centimeters dilated. But then the place where the child would come out of is swollen because of the oedema, the water retention. So checking me or not, it doesn't make any sense, because a reasonable medical practitioner would not advise me to push because of risk of, leakage, bursting of water and blood. So there I went to run a scan, and it was from the scan that everything became clear. They said the water had already covered my baby, and my kidney was also getting affected. I had to undergo an emergency CS at once. I was like, okay, chill. I know I came for a C-section, but not the one of, at least tomorrow now. The MD was like, no, I should go and prepare now. I should sign my paper. My husband was not there, and my mom, I had sent my mom to go get some other things. So I was the only one there. Before my mom could even come, I was already inside the theater, because I signed the paper myself. I called my husband and he accepted, said I should sign it. And I was wheeled into the theater by emergency. I was wheeled into, even they would cover your face with a curtain, but you can still see some shadow. I could see the way they were like as if they are cleaning water, like this. The MD would use a towel and damp the water in my body, inside my womb or inside my stomach, I don't know, but they've already torn everything open, and then you use the water. And because I was awake, so they were also telling me that they are removing the water now, that the water is much. So when he soaks the towel in with the water, he would squeeze it, and so on and so forth, so until they brought out my baby. To the glory of God, nothing happened to my baby. As they brought him out, she cried with so much strength. So they showed me that, look at my baby. They took him. Now the issue was with me, because they still had to clean the water and so on and so forth, and then they stitched me up. Surprisingly, after the whole procedure, I can't even remember the pain I was feeling, the gastritis pain. Up to now, I don't even know where it went to. So apparently it was because of the pregnancy or what. So is there a pregnancy induced gastritis or what? Because that experience is so traumatizing. Like, anytime I remember it, I still shed tears. Because I went through a lot. Nobody can explain it more than I would, because I was the victim. I went through a lot. It was so traumatizing. But fortunately, apart from that, I did not have any complication. Even after the whole process, the water gradually came down from my body. This one was not, they didn't need to give me any drug or anything. It was just the pregnancy related stuff. The gastritis disappeared, but the thing there was that gastritis affected my baby, because he was born with a low weight, 2.1 kg. But apart from that, he did not have any issues. He did not have jaundice. He wasn't placed in an incubator or anything. Even up to now, if I tell a doctor about my first pregnancy experience, they'll be asking me, was your child okay? Did the child come out alive? Did he have any issues? Like, about 3 or 4 doctors, even a gynecologist, asked me the same question. I was like, wait, was anything meant to happen to my child? So they were like, no, they don't want to scare me, that as far as it's okay. So I'll be like, really, I don't know, I don't understand. But I thank God that it's all ended in praise. Like they say, pregnancy will humble you. Pregnancy will teach you what life is. Like, I really knew pain. I had not felt that kind of pain in my life before. I knew what pain is and what sacrifice was, because you have no choice. You have to endure it, and you have to do this for the sake of the little one inside of you. Pregnancy really humbles someone. in spite of everything, in spite of all these experiences, the main joy, the testimony is that the reason why we go through such stress, such trauma, such pains, at least the reason is with us, because our child is with us, strong and healthy. So guys, I don't know, did anybody or has anyone experienced a similar situation, a similar, symptom with mine? If you have, please leave it in the comment section for me. Or if you have another, maybe you've experienced any other traumatizing pregnancy experience from your first, second, third or fourth, please leave it in the comment section, because it would encourage others. There might be one or two women going through this situation, going through this experience, and they feel like giving up. So I feel that our experience, sharing our experiences, sharing my experience, would lift up someone, would encourage someone, and would give the person the strength, the courage to keep on going. Because whether you like it or not, women, we are stronger than we appear. We are really stronger than we think we are, and we can do it with God on our side. Pregnancy will never see our end. We will see the end of all our pregnancies, and we will hold our bundle of joy in our hands. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Share this video, please, to as many women as there are out there. Share this video with your friends, with your families, with your colleagues, and so many other people. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.